One of my games on the weekend, the only pick that I got wrong, chose the Vikings. I know I shouldn't have. The Giants upset them 31-24 in Minnesota, and Daniel Jones played what I think is probably the best game of his career. I don't want to say by far, but it was one that changed my opinion a little bit on Daniel Jones. I was on the Bolt a couple of days ago. It was, I think, as that game was starting, matter of fact. And the reason I was doubling down on picking the Vikings is because I said, well, I've watched Daniel Jones play quarterback for what is it now? 3 years, 4 years? And he's not great. He's not great. Man, he looked really good. He's had some better statistical performances. He had games where he threw 5 touchdowns in his rookie year against Washington, had 4 again, a lot of rookie year performances. He had a couple of 4 touchdown, no pick games, so 5 touchdown, no pick game. But like this season, we did not see the Daniel Jones that we saw in that game, I don't think. The only other one you could say is probably that season finale versus Indianapolis. He had 4 total touchdowns, 91 rushing yards, only 177 passing yards, but completion percentage near 80%, threw for 2 touchdowns, 125 passer rating, really high QBR, 96.8. But he played extremely well yesterday. Extremely well. And it makes me wonder, it makes me wonder if he is going to be a franchise quarterback. Listen, I don't know if he will be. And I think that there's a difference between a franchise quarterback and an elite quarterback. I think that's obvious. I think Kirk Cousins is a franchise quarterback. I don't think Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback. I think elite quarterback wise, you probably have 8 in the league. Right? Maybe less. I think you have Josh Allen, you have Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Pending what we see, Deshaun Watson was in that category, not anymore. Then I think Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. And then the NFC, I don't know. Dak and Jalen Hurts, if they can, follow up this second season. Matthew Stafford was elite. Brady and Rodgers probably like grandfathered in. But I am against putting either of them in like my top 10 quarterbacks anymore. I think they can have like an honorary spot, but I don't think that it's fair to have them in. But Daniel Jones, I think, could be a franchise quarterback. I think if after seeing that performance, it changed my outlook on him a lot. And listen, like he could totally throw up a really bad game versus Philadelphia, and maybe I'm right back in the position I was before this game. But I think he played extremely well. And honestly, he won a game that I didn't think that they were going to win. I thought it would be close because I think the game that they played earlier this year, I know the game earlier this year they played was close, but I thought it would be close as well. But I thought that they were in just such a bad rut at the end of the year. After beating the Texans, their last 7-8 games, loss, tie, loss, win, loss, win, loss. I thought that they were did not have any momentum. Yes, obviously they rested their starters in that finale. So if you don't want to give them that loss, fine. But I think that they still had backwards momentum going into this one. And he was able to overcome that. He was able to, or the team at least was able to overcome a really bad drop by Darius Slayton, one that, should have ended the game but didn't. I think he impressed me a lot. And I think what impressed me just as much as him is the coaching staff. Obviously, Brian Daboll's coach of the year. It's not a question, obviously. Again, postseason performances aren't supposed to go into it. But it would have been the right decision before this. Had they gotten blown out 55-0, it would have been the right decision regardless. But what really impressed me with the coaching staff is how much they were willing to trust Daniel Jones. How willing they were to trust Daniel Jones. He threw the ball 30, or he was called for passing plays, or had the ball in his hands at least, outside of handoffs. Threw it 35 times, got sacked 3 times. There's 38 right there. And then he ran the ball 17 times. They were willing to put the ball in his hands 55 times. 55 times in a do-or-die game. That's impressive to me. That is really, really impressive to me. That they were willing, and again, he's an effective runner. He's an extremely effective runner. He didn't have a great, yards per carry, for generally quarterbacks who are runners have a higher yards per carry than what he had. He only had 4 for 6, but they used him very similar to how the Buffalo Bills used Josh Allen. They were not afraid to run a quarterback power. They weren't afraid to run a quarterback power with him and pick up tough yards on tough downs. It's like even that last drive to set up the touchdown, where they obviously got the lead in this one, or took the lead back, I guess I should say. 12-play drive. Daniel Jones pass, Daniel Jones pass, Daniel Jones pass, Daniel Jones pass. Another pass. 6 passes. 7 passes. 8 passes. Then a run, another pass. He was the only person outside of Saquon Barkley who rushed in from the 2. He was either throwing the ball or he was running it himself. 10-play drive, and he was the main guy on 9 of them. That's impressive to me. A lot of times you'll see quarterbacks, bad quarterbacks, mediocre quarterbacks, like you'll see them get the ball or get a game-winning drive where it's like they throw one pass and they hand it off 4 times. You know what I mean? But that's not what this was. He led that game-winning drive. Leading a game-winning drive kind of gets, blown out of proportion. I can't remember who it was earlier this year. Maybe it was Aaron Rodgers. It's like he had my guy, Aaron Rodgers. It's like he had, maybe it was against the Patriots, I think. It's like they just ran the ball. That goes down as a game-winning drive because he's the quarterback. But that is a earned game-winning drive from Daniel Jones. An earned one. Truly, truly earned. They were fantastic. They were really fantastic. I don't know if they can beat Philly. Again, I don't necessarily fall for the it's tough to beat a team 3 times thing. I didn't think that Seattle was going to be able to get some advantage on San Francisco. I said, it's not tough to beat a team 3 times if you're the far better team. And I think that Philly's the far better team, but they didn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in their, finale, in their season or regular season finale versus the Giants. Well, versus the Giants backups, I should say. They didn't inspire. So maybe the Giants do have a little bit of a shot, but I think that their season will probably come to an end after playing Philly, but they've been extremely impressive, and I'll give high marks to Brian Daboll and higher marks to Daniel Jones. And if he can put another one like this, then I think that they might have found their guy at quarterback.